So what they delivers its solution in functional areas. There are several functional areas in Workday. Like example, all the hiring-related activities. The hire business process, termination business process, and then the hire date. Okay, termination date, hire reason, all of that are part of the staffing functional area. The supervisory organization. Name the supervisory organizations. ID, the supervisory organization's roles and responsibilities. They all come under something called as organizations and roles. Okay, so what they delivers? The entire solution in terms of functional area. Right, and functional areas will contain a business processes and domains will have domains and subdomains, and business processes will have business process definitions. Okay, and so if I ask you this, what are the two types of security policies that we have in Workday? What would you say? So there are two types of security policies, domain security policy and business process security policy. And what does the domain security policy secure? So domain security policy is tied to domains. It secures data. And what does a business process security policy secure the business processes? What kind of permissions does this domain security policy give you? What kind of permissions view and or modify? View and or modify, okay. Now let me ask you a very cheeky question. Can you have only modify without view? I cannot see it, but I can change it. Very silly. I mean it's ridiculous. So either you have a view access where you can see it, or you have a view and modify. So when I say modify, I implicitly imply that, yeah, I also have the view access. So it is view plus modify. Okay, just make a note of it. They will ask you in this interview. Okay, can I have only modify without view? The answer is no, you have view, or view plus modify. Okay. Now okay. What kind of permissions will the business process security policy give you? Review, present right, cancel, correct view, all this kind of will be given by the business process security policy. Now we looked at it like, domain security policy will tell you who has access to what, and a business process security policy says who can do what, right? What kind of approvals? What kind of what kind of actions you can take on the business processes side, if you can initiate, if you can initiate, if you can review, if you can approve, etc. Okay, what did we talk about then? We quickly looked at this, where we said that the worker is tied to a job or a position, right? So I give you an example that if a worker changes the position, then what happens? Do they continue to keep the permissions of the previous position? No, right. They get the new set of permissions associated with the new position or the new role, whatever they are taking up, because the role is tied to the position. Always, remember the role that we will assign. We will assign some roles today. The roles are always assigned to the position, not to the person. Okay, and the position is assigned to the assignable role. So that is how indirectly the worker is assigned to. The worker is not directly assigned to the role. Worker is assigned to the position. Position is assigned to the role. Now that brings us to an interesting question. Let's say the position is unfilled. You create a position, right? You're planning to hire someone, but the position is unfilled. Can we still assign the position to a role? Yes, so we can still assign an unfilled position to a role. right, we can assign an unfilled position to a role. So what happens? Which worker is actually going to take up that road? Once we fill up that position, once we fill the position with a worker, that worker will be in that tool. Got it. Until the time? What happens? Till the time that the position is unfilled, what can happen? Take a normal example. Let's say a manager. You have a department and you have a manager. The manager's position is vacant. Okay, the existing manager left and we are looking for a replacement. So who is going to take up automatically the role of manager? Assistant manager, okay. Who is an assistant manager? Do we have a role defined like assistant manager will be inherited from the superior organization, correct? Who is? Whoever is the manager of the superior organization, that person or that worker will take up the role. Till what time? Till the time the position is filled. Got it. Let's take the example from your XYZ Motors. XYZ Motors, who is the manager of XYZ Motors in our example? Daniel Slower, right, and then we have executive, which is again managed by Daniel Slower, and then you have sales and manufacturing. Sales is Martin Walters, a manufacturing is Olivia. Okay, now let's say Martin leaves. Martin is no longer in that position. Martin leaves, who becomes the manager of sales? Daniel Sloan will mean we will have the manager role as inherited right. We may have an open position. We may say that, yeah, we are looking for Martin's replacement. So whoever comes in that particular position will be the manager, right, because the position has been assigned to the role of manager. Okay. So if the position is vacant, then it will still inherit from the superior organization as soon as you hire a worker in that particular position. It is no longer being inherited the new person or the new position. Whoever is occupying that new position will be assigned to the role automatically. Now let's say that for some reason, our parents are going out of town, or maybe we as parents are going out of town and we don't want our children to accompany us. So whom do we leave the children with? The grandparents if they are available in the same town? Right, if they are available. So what happens? So if the parents are going out, let's say for a movie night. So who inherits the role of the parent? Grandparents, right, so this is in terminology be used in our college as well. So when we were in first year, the second year we used to call them as our technical fathers and mothers. Then we had technical grandparent and then great-grandparents, the final year students. We used to call them as technical grandparent, right? So I just giving you this analogy so that you remember that if the manager or if the role is vacant, so then you go to the grandparent or the role in the superior organization, whoever has the role in the superior organization. Got it. If the manager leaves, the manager's manager becomes your manager. Right. So, and the assignable roles are always tied to the organization. This is where they have the rules, and the assignable roles are also part of a security group called as a rule-based security group. These are the people who have the same kind of rules in the organization. Okay. So now, what are some examples of common roles? Some common roles are manager right, absence partner benefits, partner compensation partner. Whenever you see the word partner, okay, that gives you a hint that this is a role-based security group or a role. Okay. Okay, role-based security groups are always assigned to the position and it is based on the responsibility or role in the organization and it is inherited from the superior organization. If not, failed. Right. We are aware of these concepts. Right, it is based on the responsibility or role in the organization. It is inherited from the superior organization. If not, failed now, we will stop here at this point.